This is the new Peugeot 208. Peugeot is calling this new generation a milestone in the development of compact cars. Quite a claim. Let's see whether it's true. The chassis is certainly new, sportier, and with a redesigned radiator grille. It also features plenty of decorative detail, including the Peugeot script under the lion emblem, chrome on the sides, and unusually shaped taillights. Peugeot representative Pierre Routier touts the changes in style, like the distinctive radiator grille and the new lighting design, both inside and out. The 208 marks the launch of a new generation in their compact line. It also features an innovative cockpit, with a speedometer placed above a reduced-size steering wheel, and it has a simplified touchscreen. We tested the 208 in the version with the 1.6-liter, 68-kilowatt high-pressure fuel injection engine and 5-speed manual transmission. It reaches 100 kilometers an hour in 10.9 seconds, and nominal fuel consumption is 3.8 liters of diesel per 100 kilometers. There's an automatic version and a manual version for drivers who enjoy the added control. And the new exterior dimensions have made the 208 very maneuverable. The wheelbase is still the same, but shorter overhangs make the car 7 centimeters shorter than its predecessor. Even so, passengers in the rear have an extra 5 centimeters to play with. For added variety, the 208 comes in 3- and 5-door versions. The design engineers have even managed to conjure up an extra 15 liters of storage space in the trunk. The interior of the 208 is daringly different. The instrument arrangement is a bit unconventional, but it's easy to get used to. Pierre says the smaller steering wheel gives the driver a sense of being at one with the car. It feels lighter, more agile, and more maneuverable in urban traffic. The speedometer is above the steering wheel, so it's easily visible to the driver. In the new model, Peugeot reduced the number of buttons in the cockpit, but the car still has individual sockets for audio equipment. The air conditioning unit is one of the few features that hasn't seen an update. Almost everything else, from the lighting setup, route information on the GPS navigator, and the radio station's dial, are now controlled via a large central touchscreen display. In a slightly surprising twist, though, the sound volume on the radio is adjusted with an old-fashioned knob. With the new version, Peugeot says its aim is to coax women back to this model. But the technical gadgetry and sporty details, like the small racing-style steering wheel, will appeal to men too. Our car tester Matis Kurat is enthusiastic about the many new features. The suspension is a bit firmer in the update over the earlier version, and the small steering wheel lends the 208 a nice touch of added sportiness. Starting in 2013, the 208 will also be manufactured in Brazil. Peugeot is hoping to thrive in both the South American and European markets. Calling the 208 a milestone is a slight exaggeration, but the update has a modern feel and plenty of driving appeal. Our car tester Sascha Knapp is glad it's finally spring. A bit overcast, but still a fine day to check out the new Porsche Panamera GTS. And it's a beauty, with 316 kilowatts and 520 Newton meters under the hood. Sascha says this car is definitely a GTS. Alcantara suede, as far as the eye can see. On the seats, the roof, even the steering wheel. It feels great, too. And there's also a Sport Plus button. Time to see what it can do. The new Gran Turismo Sport, or GTS, is Porsche's latest addition to the Panamera series. With 316 kilowatts, the GTS sprints from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in just 4.5 seconds. Another 13.3 seconds, and it's pushing 200. The muscular growl is what gets the blood flowing for die-hard Porsche fans, but Sasha says the neighbors might not appreciate it quite as much when they're woken in the morning. But for the driver, the throaty roar is all part of the experience. The GTS has 22 kilowatts more than the Panamera S and 4S. That power boost comes with a torque bonus, 20 extra Newton meters. The exterior also signals the car's sporty credentials. The distinctive ribbing on the hood delivers what it promises. Underneath the hood, we find the heart of the car. The front-mounted V8 displaces 4.8 liters and is what helps the GTS push the performance envelope. Other high-tech features include upgraded carbon ceramic brakes, a 10mm drop in height that lowers the center of gravity, and the Porsche Active Suspension Management System. It all adds up to a Sportster that's more than ready for the racetrack. The trunk volume is 445 liters and expands to 1,263 liters when the rear bench is folded down. Not bad for a Porsche. The GTS also features an adaptive four-way rear spoiler. At high speeds, it generates extra downforce on the rear axle for added safety and stability. The folded three-part design is a new feature for the GTS. The interior has also been given an extra sporty kick without sacrificing the Panamera's trademark luxury. The instrument and navigation system displays are clear and easy to read, and the interior is nicely roomy. The only drawback is the center console, where the many buttons can be a bit confusing at first. Sasha has settled into the ride, and the GTS is happy to show what it's made of.
520 Newtonmeter.
Sasha says the torque is standard for a Porsche, and cracking the throttle pushes the driver back into his seat. When the Sport Plus button is activated, the electronic engine management system adapts for performance driving. It also activates the sound composer, which directs the engine intake noise into the interior. The Panamera GTS is intended as a family car for drivers who enjoy a muscular ride without sacrificing luxury. And of course, it's aimed at drivers who have more than a bit of loose change in their pocket. It's a fabulous car, says Sasha. This version sells for 116,000 euros, but the Panamera is also available with a lower price tag at 77,000 euros and up. In that version, it sports 220 kilowatts instead of 316. But Sasha might wait until 2017 when the Peugeot is released. It's being billed as the Panamera Junior, and Sasha is most definitely looking forward to it. In the wake of the Coupe and the convertible, BMW has now introduced the 6 Series Gran Coupe. It's 11 centimeters longer and offers extra room in the rear seat. It's also a 4-door, which offers easier access to the back seat. The 8-speed Sport automatic transmission is standard and offers just the right mix of power and flexibility. The 640i Gran Coupe sports 235 kilowatts and sprints from 0 to 100 in 5.4 seconds. Top speed is 250 kilometers an hour. Dacia, the Romanian Renault subsidiary, has also unveiled a new model, the Logi. It's a new minivan that's aimed at the family market. When the rear seats are folded, the trunk volume expands to 2,617 liters. The model will be offered in two diesel versions at 61 and 85 kilowatts respectively, and there are two gasoline versions, clocking in at either 66 or 79 kilowatts. Prices for the standard model will start at a hair under 10,000 euros in Germany. Driver assistance systems are making driving ever safer. They support the driver, offer warnings, and can even partly brake the car in dangerous situations. And these assistance systems keep getting smarter and better. The intersection assistant, for example, allows the car to look around the corner, an enormous gain in safety. After all, in Europe, side collisions are the second most frequent cause of traffic fatalities. Audi representative Michael Keller shows us how the intersection assistant is integrated to support the driver at intersections. The system can warn drivers of approaching cross traffic and of an imminent collision. And if there is a side collision, the system activates further protective mechanisms. The advantage of the system is that it places sensors at the front of the car. There's also a camera. Together, they greatly extend the driver's range of vision, both to the front and to the side. There's even a feature called car-to-car communication, something that allows cars to exchange information around corners. The same principle operates in the rear. There, the assistance system helps drivers back out of parking spaces. The wide view of the street is a useful safety feature. Audi is also continuing to develop existing systems, including Audi Pre-Sense, a technical package that identifies and intervenes when there's a risk of collision. Michael Reichel from Audi says the new assistant is a further development of the Audi Pre-Sense, which can also slow cars under hazardous driving situations. A laser sensor at the front of the car maps the surroundings and scouts for ways to avoid obstacles. If the path is blocked, the car automatically slows. Scenario 1. The car recognizes a stationary obstacle and gives the driver an acoustic signal to avoid it. Scenario 2. The car identifies an obstacle and recognizes that there is no path around it. The system automatically applies the brakes to prevent a fender bender, or worse. Here is the same braking situation from the car's perspective. Things are even trickier when a pedestrian is involved. Audi engineer Franz Fürst explains that active pedestrian protection is difficult because pedestrians are unpredictable. But Audi is also working on sensor systems capable of analyzing this critical situation. The goal is to develop a system that will automatically brake the car if it's about to hit a pedestrian. First, explain some details about the sensorics. The system uses infrared light to illuminate the area in front of the car. Then it scans them with a PMD camera, which produces a 3D image of the scene. That image allows the system to analyze critical situations. In the future, Fürst says, such systems will also be able to predict the severity of an imminent accident. If it looks to be minor, the adaptive safety belts and front airbags will adjust to the conditions and further reduce the risk of injury. The system reduces speed by up to 30 kilometers an hour. The detectors function even in the dark, the rain, or a strong glare. Since its premiere in 2003, the Tuning World Bodensee has become one of Europe's biggest car customizing expositions. For the 10th time, top international customizers gathered at the Friedrichshafen Trade Fair grounds. This year saw 228 exhibitors, 29 world premieres, and more than 1,000 vehicles. Dealers sell their parts at the fair and hold press conferences. Trends are diverse this year, but the styling is noticeably less flashy.
Ganzheitlich betrachtet sind die Autos.
Joachim Fischer, the editor-in-chief of VW Speed, notes this overall trend to elegant simplicity. No more orgies of color with pinstripes or airbrush pictures. The cars are all less conspicuous, but the details are very elegant, especially in the interiors. They tend to feature carbon fibers and the finest leather. Fischer says the days of flaunting oversized, customized sound systems are also over. BMW is also showing greater restraint in its customizing. The 3 Series model was upgraded to a chic 335i Limousine M Performance. The motto seems to be sporty and affordable customizing. The base price for this car is 43,000 euros. With special equipment and the M Performance package, the price tag increases to about 60,000 euros. Customizing and smartphones also work increasingly well together. With this app from Dots, the designer just needs to enter the vehicle type and take a photo. And like magic, a suitable wheel rim appears. KW Automotive presents a coil-over suspension with adaptive shock absorber adjustment and the app that goes with it. Michael Grassel from KW Automotive explains that the app can do 2 things. First, it controls the shock absorber systems to adjust it to road conditions or the driver's preferences. Second, the app can raise the vehicle when there's an underground garage or a speed bump.
Wenn ich zum Beispiel Probleme habe, in eine Tiefgarage zu fahren oder bei mir im Wohngebiet ein Speedbump ist.
Tussi on Tour. That's a brand from northern Germany that meanwhile has cult status. Tussi means chic or bimbo, and the design is reminiscent of Barbie dolls. It offers everything a woman needs for her car: toolbox, parking disc, and tow rope, all in pink. The tuning world also welcomes private customizers. After all, they are the heart of the scene. About 60 vehicles by customizers from 8 countries are competing. Here, an Audi TT faces off with a 1967 Chevrolet Impala. The Chevy's owner invested about 3,000 hours of work in it, changing everything and making its lines more flowing. The theme of the Audi TT is Déjà Vu. Its design recalls the famous Moulin Rouge nightclub. A jury evaluates the cars. Here, another customized Audi TT squares off against a jazzed-up 1957 Chevrolet pickup truck. In this match, the pickup won. The club area is one of the main attractions at Tuning World Bodensee. It's open to all brands, and it offers clubs, associations, and organizations a place to display their most prized creations in fanciful and creative settings. This model is a Toyota Supra that has 1,030 kilowatts of power. It's used for quarter-mile races and sports a braking parachute. With something here for everyone, Tuning World Bodensee is the place to see and be seen.